Welcome back to the yearly roundup for Servant of Comics. This is your host, as always, Gina Versa. This is not a episode on any specific comic book movie. It's a year in review, so it's pretty much all the comic book films that came out from DC and Marvel. And we're going to talk our favorites and then also the future of what's to come because this next year is a make or break year for both DC and Marvel, but we will discuss that later. And I have a very spirited panel, a lot of friends that have been on the show throughout the last couple years, and I brought them all together to talk comic book films because we all love it. But starting off is Noah. Noah, how you doing?
Howdy, I'm doing well. I like to think that this is our Avengers Circle moment.
Mm,
We just have everyone together and we're just all with our own opinion standing. Hi, I'm Noah. I am a writer, photographer. I do media projects here and there, and I am very happy to be here to yap with people about nonsense. I love to yap.
yeah, great to have you on. Of
I'm drinking coffee, so if anyone sees me sip, that's what it is. I promise.
course. Well, yep. Then we have my good friend Jordan Mitchell. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I am Jordan Mitchell. I am a writer, wrote for a couple shows, comedian. That's been doing that for a couple years. And yeah, I also love talking comic book movies. Been watching them really since I was is I'm
Hmm.
trying to think because I was into the Tim Burton Batman movies as a kid, and I just that so yeah, I love to talk about this stuff as well, man. I'm happy to dig in because yeah, this was an interesting year, and next year will be even more interesting,
I
regardless of the
think,
outcomes. So
yeah, I think so. I think so. That's a good way to put it. But good to have you on. And we also have James Poole.
What's up, y'all? I'm James Preston Poole. Been on the show a couple times. I'm a film critic slash writer. You can find my bylines over at Discussing Film and But Why Though. But most of all, I'm just a big comic book movie and comic book fan. And this year was definitely one of the most mixed and interesting ones. So I'm excited to dive into it.
Yeah, I think it was. So we're just gonna go right into it. So there was Captain America: New World Order, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts from Marvel, and from DC we only had for movies Superman. So we're all gonna go around and talk our favorites. I'm gonna throw out that my favorite was Superman, just in the fact that it made the general audiences care
Mhm.
enough for Superman again and did a good enough job of reintroducing a new DC universe. So off the top of this panel, that is mine. So did anyone else have Superman?
I'll say Superman. I think it's not the best out there for this year. I will say that. But I just feel like there is sort of this we talked pre-show about,
Yeah.
embracing comic book silliness and kind of breaking molds and trying to get a certain vibe that appeals to everyone. And I think Superman really did that in the sense that because Superman has been a character that has been often portrayed with sort of maybe I don't know how to be not negative, like a grittier, a darker lens. I was
Hmm.
happy to just see something a bit more lighthearted, something a bit more optimistic. And I think in the year we're in, I could use optimistic.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, mhm.
yeah, no, Superman was it was my favorite. I saw it in a theater multiple times. I
Hmm.
took my dad, and to be honest with you, I don't
Hmm.
love the movie as
Yeah.
like I want to. I just think it's good, but
Hmm.
to be honest, it's really the favorite because the other three that were mentioned, and I think also Fantastic Four. Um, these were not movies, and I know we're gonna maybe dive into them. These were not
Yes.
movies that I felt the need to revisit. I have my
Hmm.
friends Disney Plus, and I
Hmm.
I I will see Fantastic Four on the banner. I have no desire really to sit
Hmm.
down for another 2 hours and some change and rewatch it. Same for Thunderbolts. I might, you know, rewatch Captain America 4 just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
But Superman, I found myself,
Yeah.
I'm even just for the comparison of like, okay, how does this rank up with Man of Steel? There's a conversation to be had with that film and how Superman is portrayed, whether a person was into it or not. So yeah, my favorite, but not like you know.
Yeah.
So
The best comic
yeah,
book movie ever made.
All
yeah.
right, James. It's time, James. Are you gonna be different or are you
Are
gonna
you
be the
Superman?
same? What's your plan here?
Yeah.
Are you gonna
So
be
for the
different?
up until about 2 weeks ago, I would have told you Superman, no reservations.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of both like Jordan and Noah here, where it's like almost a perfect
Hmm.
encapsulation of comic book silliness for me and just everything I love about especially shared universe comic book storytelling,
Hmm.
with all the characters crossing over and just with how huge it gets. But I did rewatch Thunderbolts the other
Mm.
night.
Mm.
Um, and there's something about that movie, something about just how earnest the storytelling is with the characters and how much they're willing to actually dive into what makes these characters tick. It reminded me a lot of Jonathan Hickman's writing in some odd ways, sort of in his Secret Warriors era. That's sort of what
Mm.
Thunderbolts reminded me of. And Superman is also a movie that has a bunch of heart to it and is probably the better like comic book movie if we're looking at it that way. But in terms of movies that just kind of cut to my core
Hmm.
and are just a stronger narrative, a stronger film, Thunderbolts has really stuck with me. Um, which I can't say for any of the other movies that Marvel has
Hmm.
put out this year or really in the past couple of years. It's the first one of these I've really loved since like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness,
Hmm.
really.
Wow.
Mm.
No, I
Yeah.
get that. The emotional beats of that film, especially, using the comic book medium and science fiction to kind of depict mental illness and depression. That also hit me really hard. But I kind of
Mm-hmm.
liked how, in the way that they were released, you kind of have Thunderbolts to help process the pain, and then you end more with
Mm-hmm.
Superman like looking for hope. So I kind of like that. But I totally what you get by like the emotional resonance that Thunderbolts has, especially if you have dealt with feelings like that before. Like when they're all over each
Mm-hmm.
other and hugging and crying, and they're pulling him Bob from fighting the void. Like that is fucking emotional.
Yes.
I go to a lot of these Marvel films mostly with friends for popcorn flicks, and like seeing people
Mm-hmm.
get genuinely emotional is just like, oh, look at that, y'all care, great, I love that.
Yeah.
What I love about both Superman and
Hmm.
Thunderbolts is that they're both just so high effort and lead with
Hmm.
such heart, which I feel has kind of been missing in the whole comic book movie genre
Hmm.
for the past couple of years. That it's nice to see like it at the very least Marvel and Warner Brothers are willing to once in a while like really try something. And I hope
Hmm.
that's a trend that continues whenever we roll into 2026.
Yeah, I wish I liked because when I saw the movie and I was hearing the reactions to it, I was happy for the people like yourself,
Hmm.
James, who
Mm,
really enjoyed the movie. And there's elements that I liked, like the Sentry
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
conversation about mental health. But man, in 2002, no, I think 2002, 2003, the Bendis New Avengers run.
Hmm.
mhm.
That was my first Avengers. So
Oh,
they
okay, yeah,
slapped
yeah,
that
I
new
get it
the
now, I
spoilers for
understand.
Yeah.
spoilers,
No,
I
no,
guess.
it's been out for a while.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but when they slapped that new Avengers on, and I knew that was coming, I'm just kind of like, oh, buddy, this is not the
You
new
should be
don't
used to it. It's the MCU. You should be used to it by now.
no,
I don't know why you expected anything.
but it's just kind of like that was a kind of a little bit of an insult. Just first of all,
Hmm.
I'm sorry. You
that you're
should be
gonna
used to it. It's
do.
the MCU. That's all I have to
I know
say.
it's the MCU, but it's just kind of like the okay. I'll put it like this: the new Avengers is what okay. You wouldn't have the
Mhm.
Avengers as it pertains today if the new Avengers did not exist.
Yeah, 100%.
True.
It just
Very, very
wouldn't
true.
Yeah.
like the Bendis era, the Ultimates era. So they just took that label and just slapped it on there as a marketing gimmick that
MCU.
I think didn't. Yeah, but then I mean, okay, we're gonna spend about 45 minutes of the movie in this little bunker, I guess. In this little, it's just I was trying to
Hmm.
get with it. These are kind of characters. I mean, I know that they're quirky, but these are characters that okay, we're gonna have three super soldiers in the same team.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And, you know, and it's kind of like I felt like with these characters. I mean, sure, they don't have to be all A-list. Ant-Man was
Hmm.
fun. Guardians of the Galaxy,
Hmm.
you got Rocket Raccoon and Black Panther, like right. But this felt like, and I'll land with this. This felt like these characters felt like I was at a toy drive and
You picked up
only
what was
the
left
only
over.
toys that were left were the Red Guardian, and it's like you really scraping the bottom of the barrel, and it just they just kind of weren't really, all that much of a good time, at least for me. But I appreciate why people like it.
Hmm.
And then it's another movie where similar to Wolverine and Deadpool, similar to what was it? Not the Marvels. Captain America.
Hmm.
It's like we solve the problems by our feet. It's like I
Mm.
just
Hmm.
want it to be a straightforward. You defeat the bad guy by it blow. You know what I'm saying? Something
Hmm.
Yeah.
kind of physical.
Hmm.
I get what you're doing, but
Yeah.
that's all I'll say. But I appreciate y'all. Trust me, I'm not
Right.
trying to be a hater,
No,
but
Oh,
but
no.
but man,
No.
Yeah.
by all means, please be a
Yeah.
hater. I am in support of that. I mean, look,
Hmm.
you're not wrong, dude. Like it is not New Avengers. It's not even a Thunderbolts movie when
Yeah,
we get
no.
down to it. Like it
no,
doesn't resemble anything regarding any iteration of that team. Um, I think at the end of the day, it's just those emotions and action that's actually
Hmm.
legible. That it kind of almost tricks me into being back in like phase one,
Mm.
or like even
Hmm.
like some of the better films of phase two, where it's like, okay, here's like a real competent like comic book movie with a little bit of like early Marvel like grit to
Hmm.
it, like back when Paramount was handling these and they looked a little more like movies, were less like
right.
big visual effects driven, things like that.
They had
And I think
sets. Ooh, sets.
exactly. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'll change my answer to Superman
No, I
now that
don't.
I'm thinking
No,
about it
don't,
No,
more.
no,
don't.
keep
On
it.
my bad. Please don't. I
Yeah.
haven't just watched it again. I
Hmm.
remember seeing it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I was excited for that
Hmm.
post credit tease that they never paid off, like all the
Yeah.
other post credit tease that they don't pay off. Don't get me started on
Hmm.
that the post credit for the actual Fantastic Four, which
I don't want to talk
Mhm.
about it.
Oh, with Doom.
I
yeah,
know we're gonna talk about Doomsday and all that later. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be quiet because I was taught if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm
yeah.
gonna
I
be
mean,
quiet. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say
I,
anything.
I will say, I mean, like theoretically, I would have much would rather have said Fantastic Four as my favorite,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I just had no man, you guys, I had no desire to rewatch that movie again.
Hmm.
Mm.
I do want to
Um,
say
Hmm.
super quick about Thunderbolts. I remember first watching the trailer, and I just the first thing I thought to myself was like, oh, they're all gonna die. Because I know, like
Yeah.
we know Cedric from the comics,
Uh-huh.
they are all going to die. I thought Ghost, who should have more merch, we don't need to get into that discussion why she
Yeah.
doesn't, was
Hmm.
the only one who might have a chance because she has actual, unique
Powers.
abilities. The rest of them are just soldiers or assassins. And I was like, oh, they're all gonna die. So when he just takes them apart easily, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I don't know what you're gonna
Hmm.
do. So I feel like it
Yeah.
has to be an emotional resolution to this, just simply
I
because they're not. ability wise up to snuff to do
Yeah,
anything.
I think
Mhm.
I was just going to add to that. I think having the void,
Mm.
like the void how you see on the comics of a giant like cloud. I'm trying to think how he
Yeah,
looks
like in the
in the
new
scene.
Avengers with
Mhm.
Steve
Yeah.
McNiven was drawing the artwork, and
Yeah,
Great
he's like
art.
a
yes,
monster tentacle thing. I think that would have been really hard to depict on screen.
Coward. Don't be a
Yeah.
coward, Gene.
Yeah.
I
I don't
think
know
it
if
could
it,
have.
Give us the cloud. Give us the cloud,
yeah.
Well,
Gene. Don't be a
well,
coward.
the thing about it is that the Void was a threat that you needed Emma Frost and Doctor. You needed there was
Hold
a
on.
whole the X-Men were there. I mean, that was the Void is a pretty
Yeah.
big thing. But I mean, look, I respected how they did. I like the place that the Void the area where they were going into where they were going in all the memories. I thought that was pretty fun. I will say that between the three, I mean, there's even aspects of Captain America that I liked,
Mhm.
Mhm.
just like little faint aspects. So these are by no means, I think, really, really bad
Mhm.
movies per se,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but they're just not like for the amount of look. I look for the amount of effort and time and money and more money and
Yeah.
time and resources that this company has. I think all three of these movies should have came out better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, especially, you said most of Thunderbolts takes place in that bunker, right? Or at least 45 minutes. You look
Yes.
at the budget, it's like damn near like $200 million. Where is this going? Is this all just paying actor fees, or is it because they're reshooting it 5 different times? You
Mhm.
know?
Could be both.
Yeah,
Could be
well,
both.
with
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, we saw like that's a movie that felt. I like the imagination in that movie.
Mhm.
I mean, I thought the
Mhm.
aesthetics in Thunderbolts was like fine. It was kind of dirty, a little indie, but I like
Mhm.
what the Fantastic Four were doing. It's just
Mhm.
look, and Gene, you might crucify me for saying this,
Mm.
but when we could look at the 2005 Fantastic Four as the one that's kind of more exciting, I don't think that Marvel did its job. At least
Mm.
this is my opinion, man.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for
The
saying that.
2005 version of Fantastic Four with Chris Evans,
Yeah.
Michael Chiklis, Ian Graffood, uh, Jessica Alba, this she just wasn't quite up to par. But with those three, I dare you to tell me that the three other Reed,
Mhm.
Johnny, and the Thing were better characterized in the new Fantastic Four movie
Mhm.
than in the Tim Story 2000. I mean, we know Doctor Doom sucks. Move that to the side.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I wish that version of, and I know we're going to talk about Doomsday later.
Hmm.
I wish that version of Fantastic Four were in Doomsday. I,
Mhm.
I would be excited if that
Yeah.
was the case. I would be excited.
Hmm.
I
That's very interesting that you say that, Jordan, because not
Mhm.
only do I agree, but I think it also like speaks to a problem with a lot of these with a lot of the superhero movies this year is that we don't get to know our characters very well in a lot of
Mhm.
these, which is why
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is always just going to come down to is it Thunderbolts or is it Superman? Because those are the only two where
And we
we
get to
got
know
any kind of
Superman.
definition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting to know
I,
Yeah.
I,
And
Super.
I,
Superman was a David Corn Sweat. I thought was I thought was great.
Mhm.
And I look forward to seeing him kind of interact with like whatever the DCU's back. Like I think yeah, they really nailed that. I think they really nailed those characters in that Superman movie
Mhm.
is one thing. Despite the story, I don't think
Mhm.
quite piecing together. I think James could have. I think it's his weakest written movie as opposed to in my opinion
Mm.
I think the Suicide Squad was a lot more cohesive. I think every Guardians of the Galaxy movie for the most part was more cohesive, um but character wise I think it was solid.
Mhm. Yeah,
I see
100%.
I see the vision for the new DCU, and I really like it. But I think at some point James Gunn is going to have to release control to
Yeah,
like
Please,
he's gotta
delegate.
he's gotta let
Yeah.
more cooks in the kitchen. He can't
please,
do
Yeah.
this by
he's
himself.
becoming he's look he is becoming the geek version, the comic book geek version of a Tyler Perry, where where everything is written by him, and it's like, oh man, this is like all your other stuff, and because I lost a little bit of faith in James Gunn after season 2 of Peacemaker.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Especially in regards to like the bigger plan of things. Like by the end of season 2 of Peacemaker, um, it felt like genuinely it was too much to handle for James Gunn to be an architect of an entire universe rather than just, picking up the toys and like arranging them in the ways he wants. Because with Superman, one of the things that movie did really well, in my opinion, was the complete like balance of characters. You get to see so much of the DCU without it ever feeling like a big crossover movie. While
right.
with Peacemaker season 2, by the end of it, it feels like that whole final episode is all right, we're going to mix things up and we're going to tease things that may happen 5 years down the line, might happen 7 years down the line, might not ever happen. But I'm I'm trying to. It felt like he was painting as he was going, like he had the finale set for Peacemaker season 2, and that was the episode beforehand. And then he's like, "Well, shit, what do I do now? I guess I gotta like try and tease things that I don't even really know where they're going yet." If that
And
makes sense.
let me put on my favorite bands in the show so you can see my musical taste once
Yeah.
again for
Well,
the
yeah,
Feel
I
faces
was
and
so
stuff.
bad
I
about
was gonna
that.
say he was like he just wanted to hang out with Foxy Shazam for a whole shoot, I'm sure. Just wants to hang out with like some of his favorite bands and he'll cast them.
Gina and I definitely we actually did an episode about Peacemaker
Yes.
season 2. And to kind of jump out your point, James, for us, we kind of felt like this feels like a middle season. It feels like first was
Mhm.
introductory, second is a halfway point, and then if they do a third, that would be like the conclusion. Because season 2 was a lot of okay, now I can express my feelings and I'm sending them in them. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way, and let me course correct. You try to course correct and you get smacked down, and then season 3 would hopefully be like sort of the emotional conclusion to the character. So I think we kind of talked about that, but it definitely feels season 2 is definitely a strange beast in itself for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
That
it to me it reminds me of Iron Man 2
mm,
in that it's early in this view. And I remember when Iron because I wasn't a fan of Iron Man 2 when it first came out. I grew to like it more because I
Mhm.
like Sam Rockwell.
You don't
But
like
it's that moment where
Whiplash?
what's up?
You don't like
Whiplash.
Whiplash?
It's well to be honest, look, to be honest, Iron Man 2 is better than a lot of the Phase 4 and 5 movies
Yep.
on its
Probably is.
face just because it has Robert Downey Jr. in it. It's like,
Don't you ever
you can
disrespect
have
the
a
Marvels like that again. Don't you ever disrespect the Marvels like that. I
oh,
will
I
cry.
didn't I was not one of those people who necessarily hated the Marvels.
Uh-huh.
I love the
Um
Marvels.
I yeah, but just Iron Man
No.
2 is a fun
Uh-huh.
movie looking back. But I'm saying with Peacemaker, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like it's like still early, and it's like, okay, where is
Mm-hmm.
this new universe going? I think Peacemaker 2 season 2 was a mistake because I
Oh.
don't think that's the show that you do while you're still trying to develop your universe. It's weird that they're talking about we got to find a place to put the metahumans,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't seen
Mhm.
the metahumans. It's like it's not that works in the DCEU
Hmm.
because we've had a lot of stuff happen, so it makes sense to see that reaction of we got to put these metahumans in a planet somewhere. But in your new DCU, when it's just we just haven't seen much, so it's like it just felt odd, and it
Mm.
just felt it didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel true,
Mhm.
and even not even peace. We didn't even see a lot of metahumans in Peacemaker.
In the show, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the
Yeah.
implication is they're off screen is
Which is so lame.
but
That's such a
Right.
lame excuse.
yeah,
Like, just
it's
show
Mhm.
us. Just
not
James
really
Gunn, self-proclaimed lover of obscure characters, could have filled that entire show with all the obscure characters he likes and just done
yeah.
that. But I don't know.
No,
It's
for
just
real. Like,
yeah.
what does the metahuman prison mean to us at the end of the show
Mm-hmm.
if we don't
Have any
no
metahumans?
humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could have been as easy. Okay, so if James Gunn had a little bit more sauce, he got some sauce still, but if he had a little bit more
He's
sauce,
running out.
yes, he is.
Hmm.
He would have included all you would have had to have done. Here's all. So if you remember, because I like Creature Commandos,
Mhm.
I liked it. Um,
I want to say
Weird
super
start.
quick. I need to adjust my camera. Please keep talking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like Creature Commandos, but odd way to start your DCU. But had they just at the end of Creature Commandos, you see the new improved GI robot. You see the new iteration of the Creature Commandos. All they would have had to done in Peacemaker is just show us some of the live action versions of those characters just as a cameo. If you showed us
Hmm.
Dr. Phosphorus, GI, a real life GI robot, just a brief of them, like that would have been like, oh wow, we're seeing they're crossing over from the cartoon to the live action. But what did we get instead? We got Otis. We got
Hmm.
the mustache guy. We got one of Lex Luthor's henchmen. We got
Yeah. You
Lex
got Lex
Luthor talk.
Luthor. You got Lex Luthor.
We did. But we didn't get Nazi Superman. We didn't get Earth X
Mhm.
Superman. That
Mm.
would have been amazing. Why? It's just another costume. Matter of fact, you don't even have
Hmm.
to make a new costume. Just put the dots on it and just make the costume CGI.
Just bring Henry Cavill back.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
bring him
this
back for like
oh
a
man,
cameo.
that's a whole
Just bring him back
Yeah.
as Earth
look.
X Super.
You have a whole contingent of the internet that are saying to bring the Snyderverse back.
Bring him back as a
Oh
Nazi. That's
man.
my solution. Bring them back as Nazis.
Well,
Yeah.
you'll piss off the Snyder Bros. I'm not
Gal
a
Gadot will
Snyder
fit right
bro.
in.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Gal Gadot will fit right in.
Oh wow, that's
Oh
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
She'll
Yeah.
fit right in.
She's not coming back as Wonder Woman. But yeah, Peacemaker, I guess the kind of going off of that in the greater sort of
Yeah.
DCU, and we'll talk about in the next little segment. Yeah, the DCU is such a weird, interesting place. I'm trying to see it outside of my perspective of being a comic book fan.
Mhm.
So as like a general audience member, are you getting that, okay, there's other metahumans out here in the world. Uh, they may not have seen Creature Commandos if they only watch Peacemaker. There could not be a crossover for some people. So the
Mhm.
Salvation plotline, how much of that hinges of you being a comic book fan or having read Salvation Run in 2007? So yeah, for James Gunn, I think maybe a lot of it hinges because I personally like it, but trying to see this outside of myself, a lot of that hinges on your comic book knowledge, maybe of his
Does it?
universe.
I never heard
Uh,
of that run. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I will.
I was about to
Mm.
ask Jordan and James, the Jays, have you read that run? Because I've met many comic fans. Gene is the first person I've ever met to have ever actually done the Salvation Run reading. I've never heard of it until this year. I've
I might have
never heard of
seen
it.
it. I remember seeing something. I remember seeing like an
Yeah.
ad for it, but
yeah,
it was one of those events that wasn't like a main. It was just off
Hmm.
to the
no,
side. It wasn't like,
it's
and
Hmm.
it's just such a weird. I mean, especially like, dude, if you're doing like DC, there's like so much
Hmm.
mhm.
that you can. There's so much that you can like where's the like DC New Frontier is
Hmm.
Hmm.
right there.
Right. Well, he's taking titles from that DC New Frontier, like Gods and Monsters is one of the chapters. I don't think he's
Yeah,
adapting it one for one,
No,
but
he's doing
and
MCU where they just take the titles and slap it on
just
film.
lifting
yeah,
it.
and he abandoned it
Exactly.
because
Hmm.
it's not, I mean, like, one thing I thought was cool in Superman was seeing the Justice Society characters on the
The
Yeah,
wall,
mural.
that
Mm.
was
the mural.
cool.
I mean, I would love. I mean, where's, the JSA World War II movie?
I would flip out. I would flip
Hmm.
out so hard for that.
I mean, we because we got a Gal Gadot. I know that's the different universe, but just there's so much that you could kind
Hmm.
of, then you could have maybe Superman was inspired by the Justice League, the
Hmm.
JSA.
Mhm.
You could have Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
My pick for Jay Garrick is Tom Cruise, but
Ooh,
Okay,
that's
interesting.
good.
Interesting.
yeah,
I
he's my
can't
pick. He'll
comment
be
because
perfect for it.
He
I've
You
said
never
know,
seen a Tom Cruise movie, so I can't comment.
yeah, he said he liked The Flash, so maybe he's open to DC
he'll
films.
be he'll be
Should
amazing
look that
for
up
it.
actually.
Yeah.
But just there's and look, let's
Tom
give it
Cruise.
let's just give it some more time.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. It's only been three official entries, retconning the Suicide
there's
Squad.
five.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
count the five.
five. Yeah, there's five, but like that was like kind of like a soft launch, as you will, for this universe. Because yeah, you have to constantly explain people to people, is Suicide Squad in continuity?
See,
Is
I don't think
Technically,
I talk to regular
it's
people, Gene. I've never had that
yeah.
issue. I think that's
Yeah.
just a
Really?
you thing. I swear,
Okay.
Gene. That is. I feel like that's a you thing
I
because I
have
talked to so many regular people. They've never had that question.
okay. Well,
They're just
I
maybe
like,
don't
yeah,
think they
comics,
care.
whatever.
maybe it's just
They
me.
No.
don't. They do not care.
They don't care, but let me ask you this, Noah. Has the average person actually sat down and watched all of Peacemaker season two?
A lot of cousins I have that are not comic book readers have. They didn't
Okay.
like it as much as the first one, but I never have a question like, "What's this?" Or if they do, they're like, "Is this a comic book thing?" And I'll do a brief explanation. They'll be like, "Okay," because I feel like a
Yeah,
lot of general audiences either you're gonna explain what it is and they're gonna like it, or you're just not, and then you'll be like, "All right, well, on to the next thing."
right.
Like I never have that conversation of like, "What is this?" It doesn't happen to me often. I feel,
Yeah.
but maybe
I
it's
have
just different
no
audiences, different people we're hanging out with. I don't.
I have no real gauge for how general audiences
Hmm.
are engaging with this, like if they're confused, if they're not confused, how they perceive the DCU. But like circling back real quick to that Salvation's Run thing, no, I haven't read it, but also James Gunn's comic taste confuses me. I have
Yeah,
no idea why
yeah.
he picks the stories he does. I hate his obsession with Tom King. I hope it ends. I hope
Yes.
we boot all that out of here because I'm sick of it. But I don't know. I feel like the DC universe is neither in a good place or a bad
Mm.
place.
Like a
Mm.
flux, sort of.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Mm.
holding where I think Superman for general audiences did just about good enough.
Mm.
I mean, I know some people who really loved it, and I'm one of them. But it's not really like a brand right now
Mm.
in the way that I think it needs to be. I mean, DC certainly is a brand, but is DC Studios a brand? I don't see it
Mm.
yet, and I think a lot of that is going to fall on Supergirl. And given the
Yeah.
trailer, I'm not excited. I
No.
think
Yeah.
it looks like reheated Guardians of the
Nachos.
Galaxy
Wow, I love
nachos.
that. You said
Yeah,
you said
Reheated.
like leftovers,
Yeah.
like okay,
yeah,
we're
They
gonna take
reheated
some.
Guardians nachos for
Guardians nachos.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, look, the thing about it was, and I'm only gonna use as a reference.
Hmm.
Snyder and company had a much better launch to their universe, despite what how BBS turned out. It
True.
made sense to launch with the Trinity
Mm-hmm.
to
Uh-huh.
get right to it. And with Supergirl, it's like, well, like there's
It's a
with
choice.
it's
Yeah.
just really okay, and with the music and
Hmm.
like Krypton doesn't really, from what I saw, look exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Supergirl, it's like she's just Star Lord, the
Hmm.
female version with the headphones and the trench coat and the '80s
Mm-hmm.
music, and it's like doesn't make sense for her to like the '80s music when she's not from that planet.
Which
I
is funny
don't,
because it's not a James Gunn production, right? He's not
It's
writing on it, but
yeah,
it's
but
the
so
he,
James
but
director.
Gunn
he got
coded. It's so James Gunn coded. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like, and look, maybe the movie will surprise me. Maybe Tomar Ray might show up. Maybe Adam
Mm-hmm.
Strange might show up.
Lobo
Maybe
will
it could
show
give
up.
me, say it again.
Lobo will show up as Jason Momoa will come back as Lobo,
Yeah, but it's kind
not
of like,
Aquaman.
Yeah.
yeah, but just just show us that. Don't
Mm-hmm.
just
Hmm.
get us there now. Give us the things like give me Power Girl. I don't know, dude.
Mm.
Just kind of
Hmm.
like it just this and
Yeah.
I'm not and I'll say this. I'm about 50-50 on Tom King.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
love his Superman. He did Superman. I think it was
Hmm.
Up in the sky.
Up in the sky was I think
Hmm.
amazing. I like parts of his Batman run. Most of his Batman run wasn't very good. I wasn't a big fan. His Supergirl. I think with the art was great, but it's just kind of like I just don't think it was the right
Hmm.
decision for
Yeah.
your next movie. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not saying do Batman. It doesn't have to necessarily be that, but I mean I don't know, man. I think
Hmm.
It's
we'll see.
yeah, they're taking very safe choices, it feels like. And we'll go to this topic of do you feel hopeful for the
Mhm.
future of the DCU? Maybe even not with Supergirl, but just in general, there's Lanterns coming out.
Oh,
I believe
October.
after the Lanterns, what was the slate?
We
Damn,
got Clayface
Clayface.
and Man of
That's just
Tomorrow.
Man of
That's it.
Tomorrow
That's it.
for right
Yeah.
now, because I think that, and we'll kind of go to the larger question of now Netflix is coming in and acquiring Warner Brothers, and you've seen in so many mergers plans that happened before the merger
Hmm.
suddenly just being cut off, and new management comes in and just decides to do something else. Will they? Will Netflix do that? Remains to be seen. But I think whatever decision they'll make, it's going to really hinge on Supergirl and Man of
Hmm.
Tomorrow.
Hmm.
So those movies have to be successful. And I want them to be successful. Like I want to like Supergirl. I want to like Man of Tomorrow. Everything about Man of Tomorrow gets me excited as a comic book fan. Just having Lex Luthor and Superman have to team up is what I'm assuming.
The
Um,
classic trope.
the classic trope, yeah. Seeing Brainiac on screen in a movie is really interesting to me.
Hmm.
So I think that Supergirl, I think it'll tap into a lot of general audience members that are women, that resonate. The character resonates with them because I think Supergirl doesn't get enough credit. People know who Supergirl is,
Yeah.
in terms of
Hmm.
general audience people. Uh, I mean, she's not in like a Christopher Reeve movie, but just the iconography of
Hmm.
Supergirl, you kind of, when you see a Supergirl, like a Superman, the S, sometimes I think they do in marketing that's like pink
Hmm.
or what have you. So I believe it's probably Supergirl, but
Well, I
uh,
mean, the CW show also,
so yeah,
as
CW
Yeah.
show, yes.
I'm a big Supergirl fan, and I can, as much as anyone, admit that the CW version was just a Superman riff. If she was
Yeah.
just Clark
Yes.
Kent, it's fine, but I'm excited. And I am worried about what you said, Jordan, about her just being Star-Lord
Star Lord.
quoted. But I
Hmm.
hope they do make the difference between like Star-Lord as a character, at least when he starts out, really is just sort of that Peter Neverland, never really grew up type of individual. And I think I hope hopefully what's portrayed, the difference with Kara is that the thing is that she had to grow up too quickly. A lot about Kryptonian
Hmm.
culture, about you know, Clark doesn't know Krypton. He doesn't remember it. He doesn't know anything about it. She survived a genocide, a tragedy,
Yeah.
the destruction of her planet, and that really shapes her character. Like during
Yeah.
the trailer, when she's like, "Oh yeah, like Clark only sees the hope. I see what's there." I think was really poignant because that is a big part of her is that she will always like she dreams of Krypton is the issue. It's very
Mhm.
much the immigrant story of the young baby who came here who doesn't remember their homeland and the one who was dragged there by 13 to escape from a bad situation and still remembers what life was like before she came to this new country. And that is an immigrant story that has been touched
Hmm.
sort of in the Tom King. I'll say right now, my goat, Steve Orlando, had a big part in that book. So I'm not giving any credit to Tom King. I'm not Steve Orlando,
Yeah.
my
He needs
wonderful
more he
guy.
needs more credit. He's a great artist.
He helped advise on that script.
Yeah.
Tom King admitted that. He's like, "Oh, I didn't get the character until Steve Orlando told me." So shout out Steve Orlando, who also had a Supergirl run. But yeah, no, I'm also fingers crossed. I'm also very middle because that trailer was so James Gunn coded,
Yeah,
even though
very.
it wasn't. It was like a
Yeah, it was.
production, but I
Mhm.
just like fingers crossed. I hope it's good because I am a Supergirl fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like, and I figured out
Uh,
what they should have did.
Tell me.
It, here's what they should have did, and it would have made everybody a lot more excited, and it would have been
Hmm.
different. They should have did a Supergirl movie where she goes 1,000 years in the future and is hanging out with the Legion of
Legion of
Mm,
Superheroes.
Superheroes.
Oh,
That's what
damn,
they
Mm.
that
should
would
have
have been
did. It would have
good.
it because all it would have because in the Legion of Superheroes, it's like Superman is like a celebrity.
yeah,
So
Hmm.
it's like you could have
Mhm.
maybe you could have had her be like a jealous cousin or something. Like you could have kind of done something with that. You would have had Brainiac 5 and that that's what they should. I don't they've never done a superhero. They've done the
Hmm.
space pirate, the space outlaw, the dusty. They've done that like 6 times already with
Hmm.
Thor and Guardians. We've already
Mhm.
seen all of that. It's like,
Hmm.
but
yeah,
a superhero movie that's set 1,000 years in the future, and that really because you could have done a movie that was set in the future, you could have done something that was set in the past, and then it's like, oh, in this universe, we're kind of solidifying it, kind of like Star Wars, like he talked about, where you can have movies take place in completely different time periods.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you know
That's
that
what
would
they
have
should have
also
done.
been the string of movies that recently came out, the Tomorrowverse or something.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah,
I
and
think
they,
animated.
Yeah.
I think that's literally the plot. Like he sends her to hang out with the Legion or something. I think
yeah,
that's
Yeah,
it
one of the
happened
movies.
in well,
Yeah,
I never
Justice
saw
League.
that one, but that
I
happened
still haven't read
in
it.
Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the Justice
Mhm.
League Unlimited episode 2, which is a really good episode. I had a fun with time with
that's
They're
that
all
one.
they're all
that's
good.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good.
yeah.
Justice League
I
Unlimited, they're all there was
yeah.
no such thing
There's
as a
not
bad
one that's
episode.
The
bad. There's not one
no,
that's
yeah.
bad. They're all great.
No,
The
even the
best
one
DC.
where Wonder Woman turns into a pig, it was still good.
That's a good episode. That's yeah. They're the
Just hear Kevin Conroy
DCAU.
saying, "I'll take it."
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope they pull from the DCAU because that
Yeah,
is one of the
Mhm.
best
maybe
DC
not for Wonder Woman, but
Yeah.
universe.
I
Maybe
mean,
not. It's one of the
generally,
best DC universe things. Yes.
generally, we just need to get weirder with it. Like I think what Jordan said
yes.
really hits to like the core. Like they want to say they're doing cosmic
Mhm.
stories, but it's all just the same space pirate shit. Like
Yeah.
it's not actually visually stunning. It's not mind bending. It's not out there in the way that comics are. Because I don't know about y'all, part of the reason I read comics is because you're seeing things and reading things dialogue wise that you're just
Mhm.
not getting anywhere else. They put a lot of trust. The comics can put a lot of trust in you to really like go along for a wild,
Mhm.
out there, bizarre ride that you're not getting, and that's why I was excited when James Gunn was hired on for DC Studios.
Mhm.
But now it's really time for him to cash in on that and for them to start showing what makes DC different. Because we all
Mhm.
know as comic readers what makes DC different. But in film, it's in my opinion, it's the time of the podcast where I come out as someone who liked the Snyder movies to a
Mhm.
Oh,
degree.
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Should I
But
grab my BVS box set off the wall right now?
hell yeah.
I don't like the
Amongst my
storytelling a lot, but I love the visuals. I'm a
mm,
big fan of the
Mhm.
visuals.
like in terms of universe building, I couldn't have, especially in the Justice League movie, the big 4 hour cut, I couldn't have asked for a better, vision of what DC could be on film. And I want some of that ambition, like even if it ends up looking stupid or, ends up being
Mhm.
a little bit overwrought, I think regardless, who knows, Netflix could end up scrapping all of this. We've seen about like 5 different regimes come through DC at this
Mhm.
point. But while James Gunn's here, I think he needs to stop being scared and he
Yeah.
needs to really go for it. Man
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
Tomorrow needs to like really be the big event film where he throws all his ideas in there, in
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's why I'm so worried about lanterns, just because it's just
Yeah.
like it's Green Lantern. They can make anything they can imagine. And we're having a grounded buddy cop story. Like what? That's a
Right.
weird choice for me.
Yeah, like a Tom King, David Lindelof,
Oh,
True Detective inspired Lanterns is like it's like,
Yeah.
man, am I ever gonna see Green Lantern adapted in a
yeah.
good way that's not animated?
We'll see in I think it comes out in June, like 6 or 7
Hmm.
months. So
I'm looking forward to it. I like
Like how we
okay,
were
no
just trying to like I like it,
no.
guys. Stop it.
It's because I want to see what
Hmm.
they end up doing with it. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I'm interested to see what they end up doing with it. Um, but yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
Hmm.
I feel like that's a lot of our opinions, like cautiously optimistic.
yeah.
I feel
That's
like it's a
that's
good encapsulation of everything.
that's a safe
We'll
bet.
all
That's
we'll all be seated regardless. You
Yeah,
know,
we're all
yeah.
gonna be
We'll end up
we're
there.
all
seeing
gonna
those
watch
movies.
it. So
No lie, we're all gonna be fucking there in the seats anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
want to see. Yeah, I want to see Supergirl.
Mhm.
Was it the best trailer? I don't know, but yeah, like what you were saying. No, I want to see more of Krypton, of her being almost like an anti-Superman,
It
and
well, it's not. Here's look. It's not going to do as much as Superman. It's just not.
Yeah.
okay.
It's
If it
just
does, I'll eat my hat. I'll get a
Me
hat
too.
and I'll eat it.
Ooh,
it's just I don't see how it could even be close
Mhm.
if I'm just being
sure.
just
Mhm.
completely honest. I don't really and maybe if Superman was in it seemingly
Mhm.
He's in it probably. Yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah. Gene, make sure
yeah
you
but
timestamp this in case he's wrong. We need to
Yeah.
no but
timestamp this.
I know
We
that
need
he's
to
probably
TikTok
in it
this
but in it as
about the
like an
movie.
actual
Oh, sure. Outside of a
character. I
cameo.
mean,
Yeah.
I just but I don't know. I just think it's not necessarily the right. I think this might be a misstep
Okay.
overall. I think this might be a misstep.
Hmm. All right.
so
Well, I
what?
mean, yeah, I guess we'll see in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there'll be another trailer. Maybe there'll be more of Lobo, or it'll show more Krypton. How she survived a culture that said to take as many harems as you can, and its message.
I hope that's retconned. I hope that's
That's
just
it's
Lark
not going
fucking
to be
him up because
retcon.
that's just so. I
That
I'm
was
not
so
saying it's
odd when
bad.
we
I
think
just don't
about it
like
now.
it.
I
I don't
Yeah.
will.
like it. I don't care for it.
I, I thought it was okay. One thing I'll say is it's just okay, dude. If you're gonna like retcon the Jor-El,
Hmm.
then why not make Jor-El and why not have him be alive and make him the bad guy and
Mm,
make him
Like,
like Oz like they did in the Rebirth era?
yeah.
I'm
Why
getting.
that would have been think about it. That, that would have been a cool like instead of doing that stupid
I'm traumatized by that. I don't want to talk about
Oh,
well
it.
yeah, the
I
pre-Doomsday
wasn't I
Clock stuff. Yeah.
never really read
Uh-huh.
that run, but I'm saying this instead of doing that
Hmm.
stupid after credits scene and see I just wasn't a fan. I don't know why they
Oh,
did that.
mhm.
They could have revealed that Bradley Cooper was still alive, dude,
Hmm.
and he like that would have been like what
yeah.
Mhm.
that
That would have
even
smacked
if
you.
that wasn't going to go anywhere. Oh, go ahead, Noah.
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. I was like, that would have smacked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like
Hmm.
what? And
Yeah.
because you got Bradley Cooper, so like why not use
Yeah.
and have him be like the big bad,
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know?
Some
But
choices
What
could
I'm
have been.
getting, what I'm
Yeah.
getting from most of this conversation is that we're all a lot more interested in talking about what DC's up to than talking about what Marvel's
Oh,
up to.
yeah. Yeah, but
I don't
maybe
want to
let's
talk about what's coming from Marvel.
well,
I don't want to
I'm
talk
I
about
guess
it.
we'll transition to the last talking point of this
No, let's go back to
because the
DC. I don't want to talk
teaser,
about it. I
I'm
don't want
assuming
to
you
talk
guys all
about it.
saw Avatar
I'm
or
gonna leave.
okay, you can leave.
All right, bye.
Or you
I did
probably
see
everyone
Avatar,
okay, but everyone's probably
Mhm.
seen the teaser for
Mhm.
Doomsday, which is not so
unfortunately.
much a teaser, but it felt more like an ad, like a Super Bowl ad of have you ever seen the Super Bowl ad of um
Jordan
oh
left.
my God.
Jordan left.
Okay,
He was like,
he'll
I'm
come
not
back.
doing this.
He'll
We're
come
not
back.
doing this.
But like an ad for like
So
an
I just had
like
to
a
close my door.
oh no, you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny. Don't worry about it.
But you saw the Avengers Doomsday teaser. Yeah.
I
I
I did. I
Okay,
wish it
I
was
okay.
Yeah.
AI.
I thought it was
Yeah.
AI. I was like,
But
oh,
it
more of
it
these.
yeah, it feels like an ad like for a car. It's like
Ugh.
Toyota. It's like we're still around. We still can make good cars, and it felt more like that as opposed to any sort of teaser. Because I watched in our screening, we had a teaser for the Odyssey, and the Odyssey is really
Wow, that was
selling
good.
you this movie of like Christopher Nolan does like an epic, and there's historical drama and uh everything on screen. This is trying to win the audience back of you liked phase 1, 2, and 3. Well, here's Steve Rogers back.
I
Aren't you
want
guys
to
excited?
I want to interject super quickly that I
Sure.
am on historical armor Twitter, and they fucking hate the Odyssey. They
That's
hate
what
They
the
I'm saying. My
do.
Odyssey
friends, I
because the
say
armor
that,
is not like
yeah,
apparently historically accurate, and they hate that
it's
fucking movie.
it's
They're
a
upset,
it's
and
a
they love
movie.
Percy Jackson because apparently it's more lore
I
accurate to
I
actual
guess. Well, the
armor.
Odyssey is
But
myth, so it's not adapting
I know. I just wanted to
history.
say, but keep going. We don't need to get
Yeah,
into it.
someone told me that too. They're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
the weapons aren't accurate." I'm like,
It's not real. Who cares?
yeah, I would never have guessed that if you didn't tell me right now. I would never would
Uh,
have noticed. But anyway,
but yeah, go back. Sorry, I didn't mean to
no, it
tangent.
was
Please
funny.
go.
But yeah, this just didn't feel like a teaser
Oh, you upset James now.
for this movie.
Uh,
Oh, okay. He'll yeah. Did anyone else feel like that? Did you like? I see like
I think,
yeah.
yeah, look, I think after the chairs in this, I think
Yeah.
whoever is behind the marketing for this movie needs to be fired.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the same company when Age of Ultron came out with the
mhm.
Pinocchio
Hmm.
music.
Hmm.
Every single time they've really had some kind of teaser or trailer, usually it hit. Usually, it hit the internet. It got like 15
Yeah.
million views in 2 hours. Or
Yeah.
it was an event. You watched it once, you watched it again, you watched the reaction of it and all that.
Hmm.
I think with this, it's like I ultimately don't think I'm sorry, the dog just appeared.
No, it's
I ultimately don't think that it was yeah, I don't think they did what they were supposed to do with
I'm
with
just
with this
bored.
marketing.
Just
Yeah.
bored.
Yeah, but also
Whatever.
yeah, but just with the baby, him having the
Hmm.
baby, it's like, okay, so is this baby going to be important, or is the baby from Fantastic Four
Hmm.
going to be important? It's like I'm confused here.
I
yeah.
think that baby is probably his niece who he does canonically kiss. So
Oh, that's
I'm
Oh
Oh,
assuming that's the,
man.
I'm assuming
uh,
that's the baby is his niece that he makes out with canonically.
don't
I
need to
mean,
get
So
into
I
retcon.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, and that's the worst part. Honestly, like I wish I could have any sort of take on that like
hmm.
teaser, but it's nothing. It's nothing
Yeah.
other than saying, "Hey guys, all those 3 years of
Yeah.
content you watched, we're not really doing that. We're just kind of
Hmm.
gonna bring back all your favorites, wrap this up, soft reboot it, and try again." I mean, it definitely feels like a big weird like there's like a weird lack of confidence, but
Yeah.
also like an arrogance that like, yeah, of course this is gonna make money. Um, it's odd to know in your heart that a movie's going to make 1 billion just off of virtue of being an Avengers
Yeah.
movie, but also it feels like the general attitude is that this is just kind of like done. It's sort of
Hmm.
wrapping up in a way. Um, I've been made privy to a few things that like may or may not be true about the
Mm,
film, and everything I've heard regarding chatter about what Doomsday could or could not be really just sounds like they're in very desperate mode and
Hmm.
trying to hit as many fan theories and as many multiverse crossovers as they can. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but I just don't see any chance it ends up being, good on any level other than spectacle.
mm,
This isn't
Hmm.
being made because it's an inspired idea. It's being made because all of their other projects have been failing, whether that be by studio interference, not really like maintaining their characters, or any other reason. They're
You
just
upset
they're
Jordan.
Oh, of course.
no,
I
okay.
I understand. I know Jordan's biggest MCU and Thunderbolts fan out there.
Sorry, the
But
dog
no.
keeps on going in and out, and it just
Oh no, you're
Oh,
good. You're
you're
good.
fine. You're fine.
yeah.
But yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying that like Doomsday, it just has like whether this be financially, critically, or culturally, it just has dead on arrival written all
Mm,
over it.
I
yeah,
think it can.
it's
I think it could be salvaged if they just need to show us the villain.
Mhm.
Doom, yeah.
They need
Definitely.
they should have did it in Fantastic Four. There's a reason
Mhm.
why we didn't spend much time talking about that movie, was just because it was, even though it had good stuff in it, it didn't, that was a movie that should have had a Doom scene in it, and that would
Yeah.
have made you go and watch it again. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like,
All
Sure.
yeah, all they really have for like Doom is the Latveria tease and a silhouette of Robert Downey Jr., who apparently was on set to just be a silhouette of Doctor Doom.
that wasn't right. It just,
It wasn't him. No way.
with the mask that looked like it was from Party City. It's just,
That's from
Yeah,
Timu. He got a Timu mask on.
got it.
yeah, it's just they need to just, that's the first thing that we needed. We need to see, they need to put out a Disney
They
Plus special or something like that.
yeah,
They need to
Mhm.
do something to get us on board for what this character really is.
yeah.
And they
The great
haven't, because that's really, if that's not done right, then, because if I would tell you this, if that's not done right when we see it, we're like, oh shit, okay, that's great. That's okay, I'm
Mhm.
on board. If that's not there, then I think it really is DOA.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, arguably the greatest Marvel villain, Doctor Doom, and we're not building excitement for it. I think they are going to come out with some Doctor Doom teaser, is what I've heard.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But until we get to that, I don't think uh as like an MCU fan or even a general audience fan, you don't really have any sort of gauge on Doctor Doom outside of stuff that you read online, or I guess also kind of if you look at the comics and some of the comics, you've seen it with the Fantastic Four going away when they lost the rights. The
Mhm.
Inhumans kind of taking the spot of the mutants. They're soft launching a lot of the ideas that will carry the movie. So Doctor Doom has been fighting with Captain America a lot in the miniseries, and it
Yeah.
seems like the movie is gonna. It's more so Cap and Doom as opposed to the
The
Fantastic
greatest
Four.
ever, as everyone knows, the greatest nemesis and hero
Yeah,
fight ever, Doctor Doom and Steve Rogers.
yeah, that doesn't get me excited. That doesn't get me excited. I like Captain Cap and Doctor Doom interacting in the comics, but
Mhm.
that's because Doctor Doom is already established as the character we know, and
Mhm.
these movies aren't really establishing Doom as anything. So,
RDJ Doom, in my opinion, could be the one thing that saves this whole
ooh,
project. And
yeah.
I know it's a
I'm
super
happy for
controversial.
you. I'm happy for you.
Sorry.
I'm happy you're
Look,
happy.
it's
Yeah,
a super controversial casting, not even a good casting, in my opinion. But Robert Downey Jr. is an actor who, in every project, will always give the 110%
Mhm.
in his performance. So, will it be a
Mhm.
good Doom? Almost certainly not. But will it be entertaining and will it give us something to hold on to with this?
Mhm.
I I think so. Um,
Mhm.
that's my one prediction, is that I think
Mhm.
that could end up being better than a lot of people are very rightfully expressing skepticism of. Now, did they need to give him like whatever figure they gave him to be in this? Probably not. But I feel like at least it'll be very viral once we finally see him, and it'll spark a lot of discussion. I think that discussion
Mhm.
around Robert Downey Jr. Doom will be the thing that is kind of the juice for this movie
yeah.
in terms of like keeping us interested and keeping us discussing it. Um, I hope for all of our sakes, it's great. I understand the skepticism, Noah, but
Oh,
I don't know. There's that little part of my brain where I'm like, just
mhm.
maybe.
Yeah.
I hope he does as well in Doomsday as he did in Doctor Dolittle. I the
Yeah.
thing that's always miffed me about Doomsday is that part of the reason these movies work so well is because you care about the characters, and I guess in a fucked up way, you have to bring somebody that Cap knows, because if we see an evil, it's just going to be evil Tony Stark. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
If you're bringing him back,
Well,
Mhm.
and
as far
who
as we know, yeah.
knows or likes Tony Stark that is still around? Like we have
Spider-Man.
Thor off doing
Mhm.
stuff, Spider-Man, I
Spider-Man.
guess, Happy
Spider-Man.
Hogan,
Mhm.
Pepper, like three, like Bruce, kind of like it's these connections that really charge a movie, and it's just like they're so loose and it's just so weird, and the isolationism of Marvel where characters in the comics could so easily reach out to each other, and it's just such a difficult thing to do in movies for some reason.
Yeah.
It just
Mhm.
makes me not excited, because who cares if evil Tony Stark is here? Let's, I guess,
Yeah.
Peter, because Peter's going to be your front man, I guess, right?
Right.
I just have no enthusiasm. And to reiterate, I've been taught if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. So I'm just going to stop my
All
rant there.
right.
I'm going to stop my rant there.
Okay.
Do we
So,
think we've reached the point in these movies where they're not the character interactions hardly matter
Mhm.
anymore? We're just really playing to the audience. Because I feel like once any franchise reaches that point where it's just all about like what connections the audience can make rather
Mhm.
than like how is this important to the characters. I feel like once any franchise reaches that point, like it especially happened in James Bond with Spectre was a recent one where they were just playing directly to, oh, the audience
Mhm.
gets this reference and that's what the whole thing is going to be.
Mhm.
Um, I think that is going to be the biggest issue for
Mhm.
Doomsday. Is that it's very blatantly, transparently like pandering in a way we haven't
Mhm.
seen in these movies to this degree. I mean, we've certainly seen it, but not to this degree.
I mean, look at the casting with all the characters they're bringing back. It's just
I,
like,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think the issue. Well, like I'm kind of sort of looking forward to seeing the X-Men. You know, if Hugh Jackman
Hmm.
comes back.
I'm so happy for you.
Um, you know, but I don't. But the Fantastic Four, I
Uh-huh.
wasn't too keen on those characters. The Thunderbolts, I could give a shit what happens to them. So it's not like they're bringing together characters to where I'm like, I can't
Mhm.
wait for I can't wait for Red Guardian and Human Torch to meet
Yeah.
and to
Hmm.
I don't care, about that interaction. I think that this is just kind of setting up for Secret Wars, and I think that what they want to do is have Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman and Steve Rogers in the same scene together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that you're gonna kind of clear the deck in this movie in some way, shape, or form. You have your battle world, and I think you have your huge. I think you can have a scene with Hugh Jackman. You have Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, but more than likely Toby.
Mhm.
And then have Steve Rogers there, maybe have Thor, and you kind of have the most classic Marvel. They're in their suits and they're there, and it
Mhm.
just I think that's what we can kind of look forward to because we know that Hugh Jackman's going to come back. We know that Tom McGuire is going to come back. We
Mhm.
know that hell, you might see Nicholas Cage as Ghost Rider, maybe perhaps.
maybe. Maybe.
So that's
He'll
kind
do
of
it.
I think this is just kind of one last hurrah for the Marvel Studios before they
Mhm.
you
Soft
know,
reboot.
do
Hmm.
another soft reboot, and then we'll see what happens at that point.
Mhm.
But I'm still looking forward to. I'm looking for it. This is going, and I'll land with this. This is going to be. This is not going to make you more excited, Noah. This is going to be the rise of Skywalker of Marvel
Oh
movies.
no. Oh no.
That's
That
what this is. This is a. We're going to ignore all the stuff that came before it,
I don't
and
even know what to say to that.
somehow
I don't even know what to
Salt
say.
somehow
hits.
Doctor Doom is here now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what
You
they're
know
doing.
what? I'm
Like
not excited
Palpatine.
for it, but I enjoy your guys' take. So I'll listen to you
Yeah.
talk
Okay.
about it, even if I'm not
Yeah.
excited about it.
I think
Uh
the last thing I have to say on
Mhm.
Doomsday is like on paper, no, I'm not excited.
Mhm.
But is there a part of me that isn't incredibly curious about like the level of spectacle they're trying to
Mhm.
put off? Like, I'm not made of stone, man. Like when I
Mhm.
see Hugh Jackman, if I see Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire in the same
Mhm.
frame, assuming they're actually on set together, which, it's like a 90% chance of that not happening.
Right.
Um, I'll walk away from it with like, well, at least that was kind of cool, like in a fanficky way. So it's like I know this stuff. I know the MCU is kind of like over, essentially. But I'm looking forward to having one last like turn my brain off, going to the movie with a few drinks kind of experience. And on that level, I feel like we'll see. I'll be there. Will I have fun? Maybe. Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I guess maybe that's all we could hope for with uh a big event film for the MCU at this point. But that'll be good enough if it manages to do that, I think, to sum everything up as we wrap wrap up for this episode, kind of wrapping up for the year. But you guys said it really well and brought up a lot of really good points because yeah, you guys are comic book fans and movie watchers that I really respect, and your opinions all are really great. But going off of that, as we wrap up this episode, any quick comic book recommendations you want to shout out um, that any listeners could read? Maybe they'll get it for Christmas or give to someone.
Last minute gifts.
Yeah, last minute gifts.
Or if you forgot to get someone a gift, we
Yeah,
got you. We got
yeah,
you guys.
yeah.
I'll just jump out first if everyone's okay with that.
Sure.
I get the vibe. Are you guys gonna go big two? Because I have some indies I can plug real quick.
I'm a big two. I'm sorry, I'm not an indie
Okay.
guy.
No, it's
So
okay.
yeah.
Uh, First of all, Transformers recent run by Skybound with Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Goat, and Mike Spencer on colors. New and old Transformers fans, so fucking good. Minor Arcana by Jeff Lemire, who did Sweet Tooth. It's about a girl who's like revisiting her hometown. Turns out Tarot's real. She's a psychic. Who would have known? Miss Marvel fame Juju Willow Wilson did Hunger in the Dusk, which is orc versus humans, romance, medieval, every other race is dead, evil bad guys coming to the continent, orc and humans have to work together. Uh, and Absolute Wonder Woman, because I always have to plug Absolute Wonder Woman because it's fantastic. But yeah, I'm over. You guys go.
No,
That's
you're
my
good.
plug.
Well, I'm basic, so I would just say Absolute Batman. I think it's
Peak.
really really fun. Just totally kind of like a throwback
Mhm.
to '90s comics. If you haven't, at the very least, if you're gonna check out one
Yeah.
comic to kind of be in the know, I would say check that one out. Um, I've one thing that was kind of recent was a World's Finest. I'm
Mhm.
the Mark
Yeah,
Wade
that's fun.
volume three in particular was really really good. Um, so yeah, I would say some of Mark Wade's stuff. I haven't
Mhm.
read DCKO just yet.
Mm.
And then I'm gonna try. I might go back to Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man. I kind of get bored
I get that.
reading
I
reading
love it, but I get that.
reading J. Jonah Jameson and Uncle Ben like eat dinner and talk about the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
But
book.
yeah. But yeah, that's my
I love it though. I love it.
yeah, absolute
Uh-huh.
the last I think it was Abomination for Absolute Batman.
Mhm.
That was
Mhm.
like
Peak.
Akira.
Peak.
You know
Mhm.
just so good. So
Yeah. For me, my recommendations aren't necessarily going to be super recent. Just a lot of
Mhm.
things I've read recently that I really liked. I Now that DC has their DC Compact line, I've been picking up a lot of
Yeah.
those. And one that I absolutely adored was Greg Rucka's Batwoman Elegy. Um,
Yes. I'm gonna go get
so
all my
good.
Batman Woman comics right now.
Amazing characterization, incredible art, and just a genuine gothic vibe that you don't
Mhm.
get from some of the other Bat Family titles. And another one I read for the first time recently that I'm a big Frank Miller fan,
Mhm.
love him, but he also, he's Frank Miller.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Ronin by Frank Miller is just an absolute masterclass in how to build out a universe through a very limited or graphic novel format. If we're talking Akira, that one reminds me of you throw together a samurai film and
Mhm.
Akira, you get Ronin with a little dash of Blade Runner in there.
Mhm.
It's an incredible book, very nihilistic, very grungy, but also just very imaginative. And it's rare that you see a big acclaimed book like that that still hasn't gotten adapted into anything. So the magic's kind of still there for you. With you have nothing, no sort
Mhm.
of adaptation to base it off. So those are my two recommendations: Batwoman Elegy and Ronin by Frank Miller.
Good choices. Good choices.
And you, Universa?
Yeah, I was also getting some of the compact line because they're really cheap. And I reread because I haven't reread it.
They are cheap.
They are cheap. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I haven't read it maybe in 10 or 12 years, but We Three from Grant Morrison.
Oh yeah.
We Three is one of Grant's best work. It's killer animals that got attached to mech suits, so it's like Homeward Bound. And these animals just want to go. They're trying to evade the military as they're trying to capture them because they're test subjects. And I feel out of all of Grant's works, because I love Grant, they are great, but out of all the works, this is maybe the most accessible for anyone just to pick up, that you don't need to know everything about comic book history. So definitely check out We Three.
It's not meta. It's not about the
Yeah.
multiverse and all this
Yeah.
other the metaverse and
Yes,
yeah.
it's the most accessible out of Grant works. And also really enjoyed Ultimate Cataclysm. That'll lead into Ultimate Endgame, because I thought that really showcased the Ultimate Universe that we're gonna say goodbye to in like 3 or 4 months, and it'll be over. Like, they're not doing this as a marketing ploy. They just Marvel editorial is just cashing
They hate
in.
money. They hate money.
Yeah, cashing in their chips
They
and saying
hate
like,
it.
oh well.
Yeah.
So it was like a romp through all these interesting versions of the characters that we had in Ultimate Universe. So I really was digging that, and seeing it had Miles Morales go in the Ultimate Universe and interact with Ultimate Cap, Ultimate Spider-Man, and I guess his son is Ultimate Venom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out the GOAT, Cody Ziegler.
But yeah, great
Writing
artist. So
Miles
recommend
right now.
recommend those two. But guys, this was a great episode. Thanks for being on. Thanks for talking comic books and comic book movies for over an hour. Where can people find you at? Any social media you want to plug or promote?
Oh, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah,
Since I'm first,
yeah.
I'm first on the chopping block.
Yes.
I interview friends at I Wanna Know About It, a podcast where I use it as an excuse to talk to friends. You can find on TikTok, Spotify, Instagram. You can find my photography work at NJG Photos at Instagram, and darkroom.com if you want to purchase prints. And if you have any opinions about my opinions, you can catch me behind the Denny's and we can talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just find me on Instagram, JAY_Mitch92. And you can see my stand-up comedy there. And that's really it. You can see my stand-up comedy there, and feel free to like or comment. So.
And you can find me over at X, or Twitter. I don't know why I called it X.
I had a visceral reaction when you said X, and I was trying to hold back within myself when you said
No,
X.
it came out of my mouth weird. I'm like, I don't like that. But you can find me over at Twitter, at James P. Poole. You can also find me on Instagram at James Preston Poole. And both of them, I usually link my writing. So if you want to see takes on movies you'll probably disagree with, I'm your guy.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no. This was a great episode. Yeah, wrapping up the year. Hope everyone has a good Christmas, good New Year's, and we'll be back in the new year. But if you want to follow me, B9892 on pretty much all the platforms. This is at the Waffle Press Podcast on Twitter, or excuse me, on Instagram, at the Waffle Press on Twitter, or on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. Please like, share, subscribe. And if it's something you don't like it anyway. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We have been professionally unprofessional.